Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers best bet or daily package for only $2.
All right, guys, welcome in on a very happy, good Lord, what is it? Tuesday, I think it is, January the 18th. Only 2 games in the association tonight. We're going to break down both of those games for you. And then we're going to spend a couple of minutes taking a look at the midway point, some of the future odds on the board, on where teams started, where are they. We'll do Eastern, Western Conference, and then, of course, we'll take a look at some of those MVP odds and see if these guys here see any value on the board as we welcome in the original OG crew here on this Tuesday. A ski prophet in the house, Mr. Rob Vino, and of course, Tony Finn back in the house with us here tonight. Always a pleasure to see you, Tony, wearing that Mets jersey, representing.
Thank you.
Love it. Ski, what is going on here, my man? A couple of just 2 games in the association tonight, but a lot of games coming up this week. What do you got going on now over at WagerTalk?
Same thing as always. I mean, I'm betting the NFL playoffs with you guys. I'm focused on the NBA mostly. Yesterday I went 4-3, I think, in association.
Mm-hmm.
So I think over my last 257 bets should be somewhere around 57%. So want to pick it up a little bit and we can get started today. I have a lot I like today.
All right, so I got to ask you a question now, man. As the Laker homer and the crew here, how many more losses before you get a new coach?
Man, I don't know. I'm frustrated just because, I knew they were going to win yesterday and I didn't bet them. I just couldn't do it to myself. So maybe I'll just do it for the rest of the season for the greater good of the Lakers. Maybe they'll continue winning.
Yeah, exactly. Keep your ass off of them. That is exactly the way to look at it. Rob Vino, what's going on, my man? I know you've got to be a big card across the board this week here. I know you got something locked and loaded over at WagerTalk.com. What's going on?
We do. One play up and available for tonight, Joe. One of these 2 games. Yesterday, the same exact outcome as Ski, 4-3 in the NBA. Tomorrow's a 13-game card, I think. So we got plenty already onto that card, actually. But yeah, one going for tonight, and we'll see how tomorrow looks when they put up openers, because we may get to some of these overnights here.
All right, good stuff there. Yeah, that's should be interesting here. Even the 2 games that you got on the board should be interesting. All 3 of these guys continuing to cash a ton of tickets in the NBA, including Mr. Tony Finn in the house here. Even though he's wearing a Mets jersey. I don't know if you lost a bet or what's going on there, Finn. But we all know they ain't playing until August. So tell me here, what do you got locked and loaded for us here tonight, Tony? What's going on?
You better be wrong about that. That's all I got to say about that. What do I got tonight? We have no NBA tonight, although I have a lot of I have loved to talk about the 2 games, but I do have 3 college hoop plays. 1 late, an ESPN show, and of course I have all 4 positions already locked and loaded for the divisional round this weekend for the NFL. So that's what we got going tonight. I'm excited about the second half of the NBA season, guys. I really am. There's going to be some money to be made. There's some frauds up there. I've been looking at the NBA power rankings, and Joe, you and I can talk about the Memphis being the 2nd rated team in the entire NBA on ESPN.
Mirage.
Yeah, I like.
Yes, it's a mirage.
I like it.
I don't see why what you have against Memphis, my friend, but we will get to that as we start, guys. Game number 1. What better place to go here on a short card than the Garden, as the New York Knicks hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves here. 212.5 is an opening number. The Knicks opened up as a slight dog. Looks like that the market is ever so slightly moving towards the T-Wolves here. Tough loss last night there against Charlotte. They were on a pretty decent run there. I think 3-0 straight up. I think they even covered in all three of those games. So it's been a nice little stretch here. But what do you think? I'm concerned. Can the Knicks score enough points in this one for you, Ski, in order to back them as a dog?
No, I'm not interested in the Knicks tonight. I usually look towards the more rested teams, and I know New York was out there on the court last night, so road favorite, more rest in their opponent on a back-to-back. It's about 68.5% at times that they win since 1995. And if you want to look at just this season alone, it's more like 82%. So I like the T-Wolves. Everybody's healthy, the guys that I care about. You have D'Lo, you have Edwards, you have Cat. And I think they match up well. So I like that side. Total, I'll probably leave for these guys here, but I do like a couple props. Knicks on the back-to-back, they give up a lot of rebounds. And guys, I'm thinking today, Vanderbilt, he's been going over this 8.5 number, I think 8 of his last 11 games. And Cat, he's also a guy I'm looking for to have success. And Vanderbilt, he's been going over his points prop, 6.5. Pretty consistently lately, so that's another guy that I'm looking at, or another prop that I'm on today.
I like both of those actually in this matchup here. The T-Wolves, to Ski's point, Rob. I think Sunday, nice little win there against the I don't even know what Golden State put out there, but they put a team out there. Minnesota handled business. Now they're taking on this Knicks team back to back for them. How do you have this one playing out?
That's in a lot of ways, Joe, it's similar to the opponent that they played yesterday afternoon in Charlotte. But of course, no LaMelo Ball for the Charlotte Hornets, and they were still able to defeat the New York Knicks. When you look at their lines, it seems as if they're overrated, as if people are still waiting for the Knicks to come around the way they did last year. I'll say this, the defense last 4 games has been better. There's only been one game where they've allowed better than 42% shooting over the course of the last 4. But the offense comes and goes. There were some hard minutes played yesterday in that game against Charlotte. Minnesota, on the other hand, real quick, Pat Beverly back in the starting lineup and immediately, and I know Golden State didn't have much of a lineup in there, but 39% shooting against Minnesota yesterday. He does enough when he's on the floor to will Minnesota to play just enough defense to where their offense can win games. I think they got too much firepower here, Joe. I'm kind of interested in that first half number, total-wise, 109.5. Minnesota's gone over this number 5 of their last 6 games in the first half. And if the Knicks show any fatigue whatsoever on the defensive side from yesterday's hard-fought game with Charlotte, then hey, Minnesota might hit them right off the opening tip and get to 60. So I think I might look at that 109.5 first half over.
3-2 is what the Knicks are on these back-to-back situations here, Tony, this year. They obviously, the scoring is a bit of a concern here. Do you trust the Knicks to add enough here in order to be able to get us either over or maybe a win?
No, I would be, if I was in this room, I would be on Minnesota. I mean, I don't want to overreact to what happened to the Knicks yesterday, but as Rob just mentioned and Ski, you're not supposed to lose to Charlotte without Ball. This team cannot play any defense. They've shown. I mean, their offense has overcome a really below average defense, guys. And when the Knicks have I think they had a 96.3 offensive rating in non-garbage time yesterday. That's pretty troubling against the Charlotte defense, I would say. And while the Timberwolves, I think, are still a little bit skewed, defensive ratings a little bit skewed over the last 7, 15, 20 games, they come in with a pretty good defensive efficiency, 109 and change, I think. So they're forcing turnovers. They got guys who can score. We know that. They got guys who can run. And I would be on Minnesota. In fact, I may have just talked myself into getting on Minnesota. I don't know yet, but it's in the Garden. It's always a tough place to play. And the Knicks, they just jump up and grab you every once in a while. pound on your head, beat you when you play against them. So you don't see me in that room with the Knicks very often, but I would be on the Timberwolves, guys.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even break the 90 mark yesterday
Yeah.
against a Charlotte team that, hell, Ski, you and I can drop 120 in Charlotte. You got to be kidding me. So it is going to be an interesting. Just feels like the number is begging you to take Minnesota here. But the Garden, that'll be game number 1 tonight. We'll move on to the late cap here, 10 o'clock. Oh, boy. The Golden State Warriors. They will be hosting the Detroit Pistons, and this one here, and obviously we've got an interesting opening number here of 14.5 with the total of 215 in this one, and that is the question here, guys, right? What are we going to get? I see 15.5s all over the place. I see 217 and 217.5s popping up. Ski, if you can tell me which version of the Detroit Pistons we're going to get, I would much appreciate it. It would help me figure out which side to go in this game because they either lose by 40 or they win by 10. So which one are we getting here tonight, Ski?
I wouldn't be expecting them to win by 10, especially on the road. I like Detroit a lot more at the house. But, just 15 points. I don't really want to go out there and lay 15 points with anybody. And I just think, Golden State is usually good defensively, but without Draymond, they take a step back. And I'm not sure if Gary Payton Jr. is in tonight or not, but if they're without him, they take another step back. So I wouldn't be laying with Golden State if they're not going to be playing much defense. That's just what I'll say. I would take Pistons plus the points. If you like Golden State, I think you take them third quarter. That's where they've been pretty consistent. I think they've covered 4 of the last 5, and on the road, my bad. Maybe I messed that stat up. But they're 4 of the last 5 they've covered in the third quarter.
Right.
I like the total a little bit more, and I kind of flip-flopped on it earlier. Initially, I was thinking maybe I get an under game. I think Golden State at the house all year has played good defense, but I already talked about the guys missing and how that would affect them. And then I look at the Pistons, their last 2 weeks on the road, they're giving up 124 points per game. And, you have a Golden State team that's shot pretty miserably for a while now. I think at some point, it's going to turn around. They're back at the house now. I know the first game usually could be a flat spot, but it's hard for me to see this one staying under. I know it was 215, got bet up to 219, had a little bit of resistance, and it's back to 217.5 now. I think if I had to bet it, it would be up and over. A couple props if I have to pick here. I haven't made any in this one yet, but guys I'm looking at, it'll be either Cunningham assist over 5.5. I like Looney points over 5.5. It's starting to get juice now, but he's hit it like I think 11 of the last 12 games. And I also like Looney on the rebound. So that's all the stuff I'm looking at in this game.
Yeah, Rob, it's an interesting game, but it's interesting from the pack of, are we going to get the competitive Detroit Pistons on the road? Because that other Detroit Pistons team, it's over before it starts here with them. I mean, they lose. They don't just lose. It's like, good Lord, Arizona Cardinals kind of losing here. What do you think here, Rob? How are we going to get? We going to get a competitive Detroit team tonight?
Yeah, I think with Detroit, Joe, I think you get effort. I mean, they try. It's not very good. So it's hard to say whether that effort is going to result in competitive or non-competitive. I mean, I don't think that they intended on giving up 135 to Phoenix the other night, but yet they're just not that good. I mean, defensively, in their last 6 games, they've given up 51% shooting or better in 4 of those 6. I mean, and the counter to that is what Ski was just talking about, how bad Golden State has been from the floor. 6 of their last 7 games, 42% or worse out of the Golden State Warriors. Really unheard of. The one game where they came out and shot real well was that game against Chicago, where Zach LaVine didn't play. They shot 56-4. That's like the, mirage in these last 7 games. I don't know when they get back to form here, but I'm in a little bit of agreement where Golden State defense is concerned with Ski. I don't know how serious they take the Pistons tonight. I really don't. It's like a flea on your shoulder. You just shrug it off. And the Pistons are going to play pretty hard. Golden State may roll them out, and just look to score, and we get a higher scoring game here. I wouldn't play an under, and I don't think I would be in the market for laying points with Golden State at this point in time. Total's going up to, 218 now? I think I saw before we came on, 218.5 maybe. Still very possible because Detroit's youth, I was looking at their possession numbers. They're like 10th in the league in possessions per game. So they're a little bit quicker than you think as far as pace is concerned.
I believe they first time they played, it was a narrow victory there by Golden State. I think they only covered by, I think they won by 2, 105-102. I'm sorry, 3 points. I don't want to jip Detroit there, but this has not been a very efficient Golden State team. And it's shocking, the minute Draymond goes down, Klay Thompson comes back, and Steph Curry goes cold, Tony Finn. Do I want to lay 15, 16 points with a team that can't hit water if they fell out of a boat right now? What am I doing?
No, I mean, what you said earlier in the intro to this was that you're right. Detroit either lose by 50 or 40, whatever you said. They win by double digits. I mean, this is a funny team, guys. Their team's 5-4 straight up, 5-4 against the spread, 5-4 against the spread. And I was looking at the net rating, almost a -10 net rating, and 5-4 against the spread. Average margin, almost 35 points. I think they got beat by in their losses, in those 4 losses, and then the 3 wins. Just like you said, Joe, were by double digits, by 10 or more. It's pretty tough to put your arms around this team, and it's pretty tough to put your arms around the Warriors. This team's going to bounce. They're going to come out of this shooting slump. You don't just forget how to shoot, or forget how to score. Now, Green missing in action affects them because they do get some points off their defensive pressure, off steals, and off live rebounds. So I would be under in this game if I was in there. But again, you just never know what's going to happen with both of these teams right now. I think we should wait until they settle in a little bit and come back to form, or the form we expect them to be at. And I agree with Ski. I like Looney's rebounds over the 7.5. And I also like Klay Thompson's over 2.5 3-pointers, getting plus money on that. Unless they're planning on not playing Klay more than 20 minutes, I would be on that. I'd be on that prop as well.
He played 28, so I think you're good.
Right? Yeah, I did. Yeah. And Steph, is he still listed as questionable on the 4:30? Did anybody see? He's still listed as questionable.
Yeah, he is.
Ski, his prop is usually around what? Threes made is like 4, 4.5. It's usually somewhere.
It's gotten as high as 5.5, 6.5. For it to be 4.5 at plus money is low.
Wow, really? And it's at plus money? Damn.
It's either plus money or even money. That's as good as I've seen it.
God, yeah, but he's been I mean, that's the problem, man. If he goes here, we're looking. He's only been hitting about 23, 24% of his threes here since the start of January, which is not great.
I was wrong. I'm wrong, Joe. He's no longer on the injury list.
He's not on the injury report.
He's not on the injury report anymore.
He's off. Okay, so he's off. So that prop looks real juicy to me there, Ski. I don't know if I can get him at even or plus money, and he goes off on the Detroit. I'm going to be real pissed we didn't play that tomorrow. It'd be real bad.
Yeah,
1% club. Here we come, baby. Love it. Let's do it, damn it. All right, so you got that, guys, at 10:10, I think, Eastern time tip-off there. So what we want to do now is we want to take a quick look at some of these current future odds on the board for the Eastern Conference as well as the Western Conference. We'll even take a look here at the at some MVP odds, and we'll start with the Eastern Conference, and these odds courtesy of the Westgate here, where up at the top of the board you had the column on the left there is what it opened at, and the column on the right is what it is now. And as you can see, the Nets still a favorite. The Bucks at the top of the list. The Sixers. The Hawks they opened 15-1. I'm seeing them at 20-1 now. The Heat are right up there now as a favorite, but the Celtics went from 20-1 to 40-1. The Knicks and the Raptors, awful. The Bulls went from 50-1 to 10-1 to win the East. And how about the Cavs? Opened up at 100-1, now 40-1. So, Ski, let me ask you, starting with the East here, is there any of these teams surprise you, or is there anybody you would look at to end up winning the Eastern Conference?
All right, so I'm gonna just say two things here. If you want to talk about value or just what teams are playing well and surprising, okay, I'll say that. Cavaliers obviously have surprised a lot of people. The Bulls have surprised a lot of people. Do I think they're necessarily going to win? No, but you get a nice price if you want to play them. If I got to pick one team that I think probably is still a decent price that can actually win, in my opinion, is going to be the Bucks. 13-4. That's a little bit better than 3-1. It's close to what you get at the opening, 4-1, and they did it last year. I would definitely not play the Nets. I think fading the Nets is kind of what you got to do here, and they're the next best team.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And we look, too, at, you got the Bulls, you got the Cavs. I mean, it's crazy how far they've come. Then there's the Pacers. I think we can stick a fork in them. But, Rob Vino, talk to me about your Sixers. They opened up 9-1. Hell, 10-1 now, man. They're getting worse. What's going on here?
Yeah, they're pure projection, right, Joe? Because if before this trade deadline, they're able to move Ben Simmons for anything that's helpful to Joel Embiid, then I'm in. I think if he gets some sort of help, additional help, that's, of course, if you're going to trade Simmons, it's going to be at least all-star caliber help. It doesn't have to be elite, but it'd be all-star caliber help. And if he gets that kind of person inserted to the lineup, they probably have enough games to work them in, one or two players. And then I think they're probably as good as the two teams above them. As they currently sit, they're not going to win anything. I don't think there's enough around Embiid at this point in time. As good as he is, I don't think he can carry him there. So of those top three, you have to like Milwaukee the best. They're still the defending champ. They still have the deepest roster of any of those three. Miami's interesting, Joe. I don't know what they might pull at a deadline, but they are as gritty as anybody. So I think if you're looking, and I guess you can't consider Miami a long shot, but they are. Better, what is that, 7.5-1?
That's correct.
I think I would give them a shot because they just have that pedigree, and with Adebayo back now, we'll see. I mean, with the trade deadline looming, the Hawks are probably going to, if they do unload John Collins, and you could kiss the Hawks goodbye anyway, but the team who gets John Collins, who's been discussed quite a bit, could be very interesting as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, Tony, it appears the Nets are just a team. Probably, if you didn't bet them in the beginning, you sure as hell ain't betting them now. So, is it just a matter of we're looking at the Bucks, Sixers, and the Heat? Is that your top three here? Does that make or do you think one of these other teams, like you got the Bulls at 10-1 and the Cavs at 40-1, or hell, even the Hornets at 80-1 here? What do you think?
No, I mean that's a good way. That's the way I approach this, Joe. At this point in time of the season, I think I always can narrow it down to 3 or 4 on each side, and even less than that in a lot of situations. The East is a mixed bag. If you watch Milwaukee, I don't want to overreact, but I'm telling you, Milwaukee without Thibault, yesterday they went into Atlanta and they blew that game. They led the entire game, and you cannot do that. They never attacked the rim, and right now Atlanta's given up 70% makes at the rim. And they never, I mean, Giannis, they were just sloppy. They were slow. They didn't look interested. And I know it's midseason. It's, whatever it was, holiday yesterday. But those kind of things really, I have a tendency to overreact a little bit. I didn't like the way they played at all. And that's the way the Bucks play all the time. I should remember that. So Miami, gritty, as you said. But truth is, Philadelphia, if they get anybody to help out there, they may be the best defensive team outside of Miami in the East. Chicago, DeRozan. I mean, if Chicago could win, if they could somehow sneak and steal and get healthy, DeRozan he would be a guy that would have a chance to win the MVP too. But in the West, I think it's down to 3 teams. Personally, that's just me, and Memphis is one of them, as you well know. But it would be Phoenix, Golden State, and Utah. Those are the 3 teams. Only 3 I think in the West that I have Phoenix in the future. It's the only one I have for the championship, and I like the way they're playing. 34-9 guys, pretty versatile, pretty deep, and course, one injury can turn the table for any of these teams. So here we go. We got what we got left? About 75 games left. A lot of games left. Yeah.
Ski, I'm looking at your Lakers opened up 9-4, man. Now 8-1 here to win the West, and obviously the Warriors, the Clippers went to hell quickly, but Utah was 10-1 to start. They're down to 9-2. The Suns, and then of course we're looking at Memphis here, opened up at 30-1. They're now 20-1. Give me your thoughts here, man. Who would you look at here on the Western side?
Well, I guess the same kind of approach from the East we just did. I have to pick the long shot. It probably would be Memphis, just because they're playing really good at the moment. They're feeling good, so maybe they could have a shot to continue just with the momentum that they have. So I'll say that maybe for a long shot. If I have to pick who I think is really going to win, I agree with Tony that the Suns have a chance. I definitely would not play the Utah Jazz. I just think they're a regular season team. They're pretty easy to game plan for in the playoffs. I like the Warriors. Once they get healthy and get back gelling, and as bad as they played lately, they're still second in the West. Only lost, I think, like 11 games or 12 games max. So I think we still have to show the Warriors some respect. It's really between those two teams, Warriors, Suns.
Warriors and Suns both have seen significant money come their way. The odds dropped here, Rob, in the West, but I mean Dallas 25-1 now, kind of sitting out there. Do you think maybe they got enough to put it together and make a run here?
Yeah, Joe. I mean, first of all, let me just agree with the other two guys and get rid of that right off the top. I mean, all common logic tells you this is between Phoenix and Golden State, okay? Right. But you're looking for some sort of approach to make money off of this futures board, which is always hard because we can't project injury or trade as we sit here right now. But to your point about Dallas at 25-1, I mean, one approach is to take a team like that you think might, has a shot to make it through 2 rounds. That's all. Get them to the Western Conference Final, then hedge your way out on the other side and make money both ways if you want. I think if you could find some of these longer shots that you think have the opportunity, you can't just go 1 round. I don't think you have to really find a team that can go 2 rounds. Dallas has the playoff experience. They did get through last year, beat the Clippers in that opening series. I think maybe the next step is coming for them. It's another team, though, that every single day you read the trade rumor page, Dallas is just all over it. So they're going to make an acquisition somehow. They never were quite able to pull that Goran Dragic trade off. It's a shame that his talent is just wasting away on a couch somewhere because he refuses to play for Toronto. But I would probably look toward Dallas as a team that can make it a couple of rounds, and then maybe I can find my way with some hedge bets to make money both ways.
Anybody? I mean, can I interest anybody in a Houston Rockets fourth? No? Okay, we'll move on then. Let's take a look here, guys, if we can, on the MVP board quickly, as these are the current numbers, courtesy of our friends at the Westgate. Obviously, speaking of Dallas, Doncic opened up 5-1. That has skyrocketed up to 50-1. Giannis kind of sitting right where he opened up, 6-1. Durant, he has ballooned this week, 8-1 to 25-1. Embiid getting a lot of love in the MVP market. LeBron opened up 12-1. We're seeing 30-1 now, and obviously Steph Curry 10-1 to start the season, down to 3-2. And then you go down on this next page, and Morant was a 40-1 shot, now a 10-1 shot. Jimmy Butler, he's 100-1, still 100-1 there. DeRozan made the biggest jump, 1,000-1 to open up, now 30-1 here. Ski, is there a MVP on this list you think is worth a flyer?
If I have to pick right now, obviously I really don't want to take.
Oh, wait.
My bad. You can hear me good?
Okay, there you go.
I will go to
I got you. There you go.
Joel Embiid, I think. He's been playing. He's waking up and getting 30. That's all he gets 30 every single night. So if he keeps that up, and the big part, he has to stay healthy, I see him having a real shot to win MVP, especially, with Steph Curry slumping as he is right now. If he can keep it up and, Philly's up in the standings, I think he has a good shot at 7-1.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Joker too here, Rob. 8-1 from 12-1 to 8-1. I think Durant and Harden, we can probably, stick a fork in. LeBron, you just don't know. You can never count him out. But who on this board here? Is it Embiid for you too as well?
I really like Joel Embiid, Joe. I've said it before. To me, I'll put it to you this way. I was talking with a guy the other night, and I said, if you were starting an NBA draft and I had first pick overall of anybody, I think I would take Joel Embiid. I mean, my only risk is injury. That's a big concern. But the guy I watch him night in and night out. There's no flaws in that guy's game on either side of the floor, just none whatsoever for a guy his size. So I would start with him. I think the Jokic, it's just a shame that Denver's not going to go anywhere. I mean, if you could tell me that Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr., somebody was going to walk through that door before the end of the season, I might be there, but they're just not going to go anywhere. LeBron, I think once Anthony Davis comes back, that hurts his numbers. They look great now, but once AD comes back and gets 28 points a game, there go his numbers. Steph and Clay are going to share some numbers. To me, Embiid is the only guy out of the top that we're looking at that can maintain the numbers because he has to do it every nightly basis. So I think that number's pretty good on Joel Embiid.
Yeah, no, good stuff there. I mean, DeRozan too, going from 1,000-1 to 30-1. That's going to be interesting. But Embiid right now, it's certainly the odds-on favorite. And to your point with Steph Curry, once they get in rhythm and everyone back, going to be sharing that ball with Klay Thompson. We shall see. So that does it here, guys. Gives you a little idea of where we are, almost at the halfway point here in the NBA as far as the futures market go, where we started and where we are at. We got a full card again tomorrow back on, and obviously keeping our eye on the board here and the injury report to see what we've got once those numbers come out. It would certainly behoove you to head on over to WagerTalk.com as Ski, Rob Vino, and Tony Finn will absolutely throw these games up as they come across tonight, in fact, for tomorrow. So don't wait. Go get yourself one of those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages, and then you don't have to worry about it. You'll automatically get notified as soon as they post them. So head over to WagerTalk.com and get that going now here, guys. And on the way out, Ski, give us, between these two games and props tonight, is there one you like a little bit more than the rest here?
Oh, wow. I forgot all about best bet segment. We touching all over the board here.
Yeah.
Best bet. If I got to pick a best bet.
It better be that damn Steph over 4.5.
Oh, you want a prop? I'll go Vanderbilt 6.5 points. He's been hitting that like clockwork lately, so I think he gets it again tonight.
I like that, actually. Yeah, talk to me here, Rob. Which one of these ways are you leaning here? Maybe a little bit more than the other.
Yeah, I think I hit on it earlier, Joe. I really think that first half in the Knicks game, 109.5, probably needs to be played over the total. The Knicks backcourt just lacks so much defense. Minnesota has the guys that can take advantage of players like Evan Fournier, Manuel Quickly, and the likes. I don't know. I saw Kemba questionable. I don't know if he'll get in there, but I think the Knicks can score enough to help out here. So give me over 109.5 first half, Minnesota, New York.
I like that, man. It could be all Minnesota rather quickly. And how about you, Tony Finn? Which way might you be sprinkling that thin dust?
How about I'll step out something I didn't even mention earlier because I looked at some props since there's only two games and that way I don't get too caught up and spend too much time on them. But Evan Fornicator for the Knicks under 19.5 points, because I think what you're going to see is you're going to see Patrick B being a problem from him. And if you look at his numbers, he's been pretty good points wise. recently, but he's a guy that can go, Cole. He can score 10 points, and no one will even notice him. So under 19.5 for Evan. And I would like Minnesota, actually, if I'm on anything tonight, probably I've talked myself into Minnesota minus that field goal. I love getting a good line and then still getting it up the ass.
There we go, Tony Finn. Appreciate it.
Whoever said that is a
outstanding job, Finn. Appreciate that very much. Yes, you heard it right here. All roads lead right to Tony Finn's ass. All right, guys, there you got it here tonight. Come back. Join us again tomorrow. This crew will be back on Friday. In the meantime, best of luck, guys. Best of luck with the plays tonight. Come back and join us again tomorrow for the NBA Tip-Off Show. Good luck. We'll see you then.
Why pay the regular price when you can save money on every purchase with WagerBucks at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo? WagerBucks are now eligible for use on not just daily, 3-day, and 7-day passes, but all long-term and seasonal packages up to 1 full year. There are tons of options available for every budget and size of bettor. From low as $100 gets $110, all the way up to $2,500 gets you $3,000. Save every day on every pick you buy with WagerBucks.